Hello, my name is Bella Arellano, and I'm gonna be telling you a story about the first time I went to an old growth forest. I believe it was January of 2024, late January, early February. It's pretty chilly outside, the snow is still on the ground, and I got invited on a field trip with a Fairhaven class, and they were going up to Mount Baker. And so I get all of my stuff ready and I'm dressed nice and warm and I'm breaking in my brand new boots for the first time, which I probably shouldn't have worn them. But anyways, I ended up driving me and my partner and we go up there and we had left quite early. So on the way up, we were taking it pretty slow. And as we're going up there, it's about a 45-minute hour drive and we start to see the Nooksack. And for context, I am from Wenatchee, Washington, which is kind of like Eastern Washington. The Columbia River flows through it, and I live in a valley, so that's kind of like the terrain that I come from. And my partner is from the eastern shore of Maryland, which is very dry, flat farmland. And so we're driving up, and we start to see the Nooksack River. And I'm not sure if any of you have ever seen the Nooksack River, but it just glows this like brilliant bright blue, like glacier blue Gatorade. That's the type of blue. And I mean, off jump, it was so beautiful. And so as we're driving, we're like catching peaks of the Nooksack through the trees, and we finally found a spot to pull over. And so we pull over, and as we pull over, the birds, they're chirping so loudly as if they're talking to us, and we can hear the river. It's gushing down and it sounds so beautiful. And there's mushrooms and new growths of things we've never seen before, and it's just like two kids who just got candy. I mean, it was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen to this day. And the excitement that we felt, it was just so beautiful. Like the energy between all of us and being on the land, it was amazing. And so we took some time to kind of just like say hello to the Nooksack and just sit there and watch the river flow. I mean, the sound of water was just so calming. And we see the Western van pass us. So we get back in the car and we start following them. And as we're going up and up and up, and they pull over on the side of the road. Now, they had told us the destination, but the destination was just about mile marker 44. That's really all that they told us. So I'm quite glad that they were in front of us, to be quite frank. And so we pull over abruptly on the side of the road, and we are not quite sure where we're going. So we meet up with the rest of the group, and we are walking in, and we just start kind of walking into the trees on the side of the road. And there's not really quite a path, but you can tell that there's a path where people have kind of been walking. So we start walking and we go farther and farther in, and the sound of cars lessens and lessens and lessens. And you start to hear it get replaced by just this buzzing of air and the trickling of water. The air gets cleaner, and it's just like air unother than you've ever breathed before. I mean, it was just clean and pure. And we're walking, and this professor, he's telling us about this old growth, that all of these trees have survived for so long. And it's just these trees, like some of them have fallen over, and we're like climbing over them and under them, and we can look in them, and there's purple fungus and orange fungus and green fungus and white clear fungus in shapes I've never seen before. And it was the most brilliant thing I have ever experienced in my life. I mean, the trees, they were so high, the birds, the water, like everything was just untouched. And I think that's something that was so special about that for me was experiencing the land untouched. I think oftentimes we don't really get to experience that. And something that really made that click for me was when we were measuring the trees. And measuring the trees is a way to be able to tell how old they are. And so we're measuring it, and we measure it first with our bodies, and it takes about 6 of us at arm's length to reach fully around the tree. And so we finally get like the tape measure, and the tape measure is just long enough to be able to reach fully around this tree. And as we calculate it, this tree was said to be about 350 years old. And just to sit there and understand that this tree has lived through so much and continues to exist. And seeing life like that was truly something brilliant and something that I personally will never forget. If you ever have the opportunity, please go visit mile marker 44, an old growth forest up Mount Baker.